Thursday, January 5th, 2016, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I like to talk about Bitcoin today and also the precious metals. Bitcoin just raging ahead. Bitcoin broke 1,000 in the new year, or just thereabouts. And we're now at $1,146. So we've almost matched the high from late 2013, which was, late 2014, which was 1,175. So we're almost there on Bitcoin. On CoinDesk right now, 1,146. Let's see what the high's been today here on CoinDesk. 1,153. There's a lot of talk. Oh yeah, Bitcoin price is gonna match the gold price 1-to-1. Yeah, it might do that. It has been racing ahead massively, ever since we broke that 780, 800 level. It's almost been a one-way, straight up. So we could see a little bit of consolidation, a correction, you never know. But one thing I'd say about Bitcoin, the difference between Bitcoin, gold, and silver. Gold and silver have been around for thousands of years, and I'm not trying to put Bitcoin down, but Bitcoin is not a threat to the fiat money system, but gold and silver are, and that's why gold and silver are kept under control. Well, they try to keep it under control, and they're doing a good job of it right now. And by they, I mean the central banks, the bullion banks, people like that. Bitcoin, I do accept Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin. I've invested in a Bitcoin fund. I think it's a good currency. It doesn't have, the track record of gold and silver. It's only been around, less than 10 years. And you talk to people on the street, you talk to older people, younger people, very few know what Bitcoin is. You talk to people about gold and silver, everyone knows gold and silver. It's in the human psyche or human DNA, gold and silver. And what I'm trying to say here is that, yes, Bitcoin isn't manipulated because the central banks don't have reserves of Bitcoin, so they can't really manipulate it. But the other thing is, well, they don't need it really at the moment, because Bitcoin is not like Bitcoin is not a threat because not many people use it, and it's still very difficult for people to cash it. It's not as easy as gold and silver. Everyone knows what gold and silver is. You can go down to the jewelers or the coin shop and sell it and get your local currency. Bitcoin, not as easy. Maybe one day it will be. So yeah, Bitcoin doing well. But the other thing I like to mention this morning, it's 7:45 a.m. London, so fairly early still, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yesterday I made a video about the momentum in the gold price, and I have to admit, yesterday it stayed pretty much under control under US hours, which is normal. But this morning, we're up $15 in gold. So we're definitely breaking out here a little bit. We are at 1178. That's gold. Silver, so gold's up 1.2%. Silver is up 1.4% at 1665, up 23 cents. The high's been 1672. The high in gold has been 1179.35. I think that 1180 level is going to be good resistance. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and it's got to do a little bit with the WebBot reports. They've been cliff high through the WebBot reports. Has been saying for months that Bitcoin was going to be very popular in China, and that he was predicting these price moves. There's a story out late yesterday on Zero Hedge, and it says, I quote, Bitcoin explodes higher as Chinese interbank liquidity freezes. Overnight yuan rate hits 45%. So what's interbank liquidity? Well, basically, banks lend to each other, and interbank liquidity is freezing is when banks don't trust each other, so they stop lending to each other. So that's why the overnight deposit rate is gone to 45%. Usually it's around, below 4%, looking at the chart here in China. So that's what happened in 2007 and 8 in Europe, or in London, where the interbank market is huge. There's more American banks in London than there are American banks in New York. So London is since the 60s, the home of what they call Eurodollar. And Eurodollar is nothing to do with the euro. They're just dollars that are based in Europe. And that's what the LIBOR is. The LIBOR rate is the London Interbank Offered Rate. So that's the interbank liquidity of the big international banks in London. That's what happened in 07, 08. This interbank rate spiked, and that meant that there was no confidence within, the banks didn't trust each other. They didn't know if they were solvent, so they wouldn't lend money to them. And that's when they came in and manipulated LIBOR lower, because they couldn't have that. So, and I think the central banks, of course, were involved. But now this is happening in China, and it's driving Chinese investors into Bitcoin, because there's also capital controls now in China. So the Chinese can't go and send their money abroad as easily as they could, but they can do it through Bitcoin. In the Road to Ruin, which I mentioned the other day in one of my videos, Jim Ricketts talks about how the Chinese have gone, since 08, 09, they've been in a debt bubble, just like the West, but a lot more than they used to be before. So it's interesting that this is happening in China. Could this be beginning of some kind of financial crisis, this time originating in China? Will it have an impact in the Western financial system, or, US and Europe? I don't know. We'll have to see. So as I speak here, gold and silver doing fairly well. The Dow is down 23 points at 19,913. So not much happening there. What else? The pound is 123.23, unchanged. The dollar is weaker actually against the yen. It's down 1% at 115.95. Euro is actually stronger against the dollar. Euro is back above 105. It's at 105.50, up 60 pips. So yeah, the dollar is a little weaker. The problems in China might drive the Chinese to liquidate a lot of their dollar holdings to protect their currency. And it looks like that's happening, because right now the dollar is down again against the yuan this morning. We got almost up to 7 recently, and we're now at 681. The dollar is down 520 pips against the Chinese yuan, and it's down 2/3%. So you're seeing this flow into the yuan out of the dollar. So that's then just an update on things. Keep an eye on the markets, and I'll come back later. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, share it far and wide, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you like to donate to my channel, there's some links below in the description. I accept Bitcoin, BitGold. I've got a PayPal account and a Patreon account. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.